Good morning. This is World University and Schools news and question and answer on Monday, May 30th, 2022. And greetings. Here is a friend who's going to join this Monday WS News and question and answer. So stay tuned. Hello, Mitch. Are you there?
I am here.
Great. Greetings. How are you doing?
I'm pretty excellent.
Good, good, good.
Having my breakfast right now.
All right. Well, welcome to this World University and School news and question and answer. I'd just love briefly to touch on 4 quick news items. One that we're exploring a university in Ghana in the Dagbani language, emerging from World University and Schools templates in some ways. 2, that Ed Smythe, MD, is the new Chief Medical Officer at World University and School, and excited that he's coming on board. 3, we're exploring further as a sort of research focus, aging reversal genetics and longevity, perhaps coming into conversation with the Harvard and MIT professor of genetics, George Church's research, and looking potentially at 6 species, humans, dogs, mice, Drosophila fly, honeybees, and chicken. The first 3 are mammals and give milk. How does that work genomically? The second 3 are all potentially flying species with flight. How does that work genomically? But one question is, could we add genes back into a Drosophila fly in a way that George Church suggests to double its lifespan to more than a year from a few months? A fourth topic I'd like to share is Stanford MindPi as a possible retail cryptocurrency, and regarding some questions we've been asking about this at World University and Schools monthly business meeting, and also how to tie together in planning to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number, this cryptocurrency with free universal education. So how to cultivate learning communities in all 200 countries and among speakers of all 7,151 known living languages. So that's a little bit of the brief encapsulation of the news I wanted to share. Mitch, do you have questions you might like to share with?
What does it mean when you say is coming on board?
So Ed Smythe, MD, has been added to the 2 statements of information in the state of California for both one wing, World University and School, and the other wing, the WUS Corporation, WS Press. Those are 2 separate legal entities. And so how he engages further with World University and School as the Chief Medical Officer, as we seek to develop medical schools in all 200 countries that are online, with online teaching hospitals, potentially with possibly coming into collaboration with Kaiser Permanente, where he was a physician for nearly 20 years and may now be on the Permanente Medical Group, are the next questions. So
what does it mean when coming on board?
So he's one of the now 3 officers, quote unquote, from a state of California perspective.
Okay, so what standards does he have to meet to be on board?
So this is something that has emerged from monthly business meeting, and he's in a role that could really help develop World University in Schools medical schools, and potentially in collaboration with Kaiser Permanente in its 8 US states. He was a person who was a founding board member, and makes sense as a chief medical officer for World University in School.
What standards did he have to meet?
We haven't actually put out applications or similar for officers, for example. But being an MD is one standard that's great. And also that his networks would include Kaiser Permanente is another sort of standard that is part of the process.
That's pretty vague for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's monthly business meeting process that's part of this process. So yeah, it's Larry Wieland is the chief financial officer and has been so for many years now, and is a very regular participant in monthly business meeting process, third Saturdays of the month, 9 a.m. hour long. And that process of his coming on board is an interesting one. But standards weren't a question when Larry Wieland came on board as the chief financial officer. He's also nominally the treasurer. We're loosely organized, like in the manner of Quakers. So you could see this role for Larry as a treasurer role as well. He's part of this process in that way. Those are some of the ways that these people have become officers. So the standards question is not so relevant. Perhaps if we go further into the process of growing an organizational team further, we will develop further standards, for example.
Well, I find it curious that you're already this far along in your process and you don't have any standards that people have to meet. I just find that curious. I'm starting a club right now in planetariums.
Huh.
And the clubs are going to be teaching people how to fly drones.
Oh, great.
And in order to fly a drone, you have to meet certain standards to come into our club.
Good.
And we have rather stringent processes before we're going to take on any students. We're not just going to be doing it at the one planetarium here in Playa del Carmen. We're going to start in all of Mexico using, we have 42 planetariums here, and we're going to